we here with the first inaugural episode of the New Hood Podcast.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. This is a podcast in telling three brothers where we examine multiple parts of the hood from brotherhood to fatherhood to manhood. Um, yeah. So we here. We got I'll let them introduce themselves. So Josh, if you want to go ahead.
Boom. As you know, my name is Josh, aka Venom. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm so excited for you guys to take this journey with us. Go ahead, Shawn.
My name's Shawn, the biggest real estate sales agent, the
Okay.
biggest big truck driver,
Okay.
the biggest medical technician. I mean,
Okay.
you
Okay.
name it,
Hold on.
I
Hold on.
probably about did. Honestly, I ain't gonna
He's not
sugarcoat.
capping. I ain't even gonna hold you.
I was about to say, I be
Yeah,
telling
I was
people
about to
about
say.
Shawn. I was like, Shawn didn't live dairy life. I thought I lived dairy life.
And
Shawn
the
didn't.
crazy thing is, bro, like 27?
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Hey, bro, I didn't did it all. They look, they tell you live your life. You only got one to live, so
Oh.
just make sure that you endure everything. That my biggest goal or mindset is just make sure that you endure everything that you want to do, everything that you may have had a passion for. Even if you do it and you don't like it, okay, do it. But at least you can say that you did it and you didn't like it. And you ain't wait till you were 75 and said, I wish I would have did that. And that's the motto that I live by. And that's the kind of one of the things I want to promote out there to everybody that may be listening. But that's
Yeah.
me.
Yes, sir. That looked in the intro. I
Yes,
put
sir.
it.
Yes, sir. And then of course you got me, D Braxton, the first.
Hmm.
I ain't really nobody, but I got
Here
some
you
stuff I
go.
want to
Hey, look,
promote.
Here you go. Here
hey,
you
people
go.
that
I
is
got some
people.
stuff I want
That's
to
what they
promote.
always got to say. You
Man.
know what I'm saying?
But like I said, we always take this opportunity to promote brands. I
Facts.
know we're gonna promote one brand a week, but I actually got two this week.
No. Go ahead.
Okay,
Get your shit off.
okay.
So this is the brand that I always promote anytime I'm on anybody's podcast. This is my brother T Will. You can look him up on Instagram. His
I
Instagram
like
is
them. I
Shoes
like them.
Got My Heart. His biggest thing is if you ever knew him, if you know him, you know he always the guy with all the shoes. So he always try to find something to go with the shoes. So he been kind of doing a twist on a lot of different sports brands and turning the hats into their own. So like, you know what I'm saying, you got the Detroit joint, you got the Seattle Mariners joint, you got the Angels, and then another Detroit. I got a bunch of them, but a lot of them they just always got some type of theme to it, you know what I mean? Like this one, like I said, he big on shoes, so he got soles, these shoes like soles, feet to sole. Um, and then like with this one, Tiger's hat, you got Motown on the side of that joint to just kind of rep the city. If you ever been to Detroit, this is the the heart of Detroit. This was his 2-year anniversary hat, you know what I mean? So I'm always gonna be promoting my dog because that's my brother. And then today I actually ran into this brand on a military installation. She kind of promotes a lot of the different black military units. So like this one is the Buffalo Soldiers or whatever. Uh and they got the different units that go with it. So I
Yes,
had to
sir.
get one
Oh,
of
I like
those.
that.
You know what I mean? Buffalo Soldiers. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know that, go ahead and get that Bob Marley song. And then of course, since I'm in the Air Force, I had to go with that Tuskegee Airman joint. And this
For
is like, if
sure,
you really feel it,
mandatory.
that's like the real, patch joint right there.
Oh, dang,
And of
bro.
course, yeah, it got the different aircrafts, the red tails, all that, the different units on the side. Just good material or whatever. And then she gave me her card. So if you want to tap in with her brand, it is blackbeforeyou.com. They on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all that.
Love
And
So
I'm
I'm
it.
gonna
sure we'll
definitely
link
tap
that
in
in too. I'm sure
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
link that in into the description somewhere too.
for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. But yeah, so I'm
Uh,
definitely gonna tap in with that. So that's me, you know what I'm saying? I got the Colorado on because did I like how Dion left Jackson State? Not necessarily, but I still like what he do as a coach and as a parent and all that. So I'm definitely, what I'm saying, gonna have that Colorado on. I'm still a Michigan fan at heart, but you know what I'm saying, I'm riding with Dion to the wheels fall off. They took that L to USC today, but they fought. So it is what it is. But like I said, I'm D Braxton. You're gonna always see me repping some type of brand. If I know you, or even if I don't know you, and especially if you black. But yep. Well, let's get into it.
That
Wait, y'all still can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
yeah,
you.
I'm trying to make
Okay.
sure that okay, so Deaner saying he can't hear nobody but me, so we're gonna make sure. But let me see. This is perfect. I about to say,
Um,
Shawn, go ahead, plug sis shit
all
too.
right, bet.
I'll edit
So
it out.
to this week, the business, the company that I'm gonna be plugging is gonna be my wife. She just started a new, actually this week. I want to say yesterday was her first launch. Well, yesterday was her launch of her entire website, her entire business.
I can hear that.
It's called Saige and Soule. So it's gonna be sageandsoule.com, Sage SAIGE, Soul SOULE.com. And pretty much what she's trying to encompass is just the whole spirituality aspect, healing yourself from the root to to the top, just trying to get you to where you need to be. She has a whole bunch of like herbs and stuff like that, that you may be interested in if that's your thing. If not, then hey, it is what it is. She got candles, so I got these candles that I actually purchased off her website because she wouldn't give it to me, but it smelled so good that I just couldn't help myself. And then she has this just bundles. She has
Hold
beads,
it a
a
little
whole
closer.
bunch of. She
It
has
started blurring out. There
she
you
has
go.
beads and I think it's still blurring out. She has bundles and everything else. So if you just go check out her website, you'll see everything that she has posted up there. Check it out and support it if you're able to. If not, just leave a like, a comment, or something like that, something supportive. And yeah, I just appreciate everybody that's
Why the
willing to
hell
go
are
do
you?
that.
My bad, my bad. I'm sorry, but I got
What's
something
the?
for your
I
ass.
about to say is
You finna talk
what's
about my
the?
nail?
Say
Yeah,
the
why the
website
hell
again.
is your Say the website first.
sageandsoul.com. I think it's SAIGE, and so and SOULE.com. Sageandsoul.com. She kind of put a
And it will be
different.
down below.
Yeah, we're gonna make
So
sure
in
that
the
we link
description.
that
So,
along with the stuff my brother DJ commented.
but go ahead, DJ. Tell him what you about to tell him,
John, why
DJ.
the hell is your nails
Hey,
looking
brother,
so
it's
long?
been like this my entire life, brother. I like to grow my nails out, brother.
Now,
Hey, I'm a brother. I always
now
been a
being from
player. Like
Now
you
being from
know, a player. He
Mississippi,
gon' he gon'
Okay,
That's
when you
what he
say
do.
player,
Like now, I don't. I look.
I ain't
I
gonna
ain't
lie, a
playing
lot
no
of
more.
them that network,
I ain't
you
gonna
know
be
that's
what?
what I'm about to
playing
say.
no
I'm from
more.
Mississippi. I
My old
know.
lady will stab me in my throat. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I ain't playing no more. But back in the day, and it's just something that's kind of stuck with me. And
Yeah.
I also like to. I'm pretty sure anybody here could tell you I'm a different kind of guy. Like I don't like to deal with like societal like norms and stuff like that. And any way that I can reject anything, I'm gonna do it. Like, okay, you say you ain't supposed to have long nails. Okay, I'm gonna have long nails. You ain't supposed to have long hair. I'm gonna have long hair. You ain't supposed to wear a whole bunch of different colors and look bright and vibrant and stand out. I'm gonna be bright, vibrant, and stand out. That's just me. That's what
I ain't
I
mad
Hey,
at
do.
it.
that's,
I ain't
I
mad
Yo.
at
will
it.
say you ain't shit. You my guy though. You know the crazy thing is, sitting here thinking since this is our first like episode thing, I think we should kind of like talk about like one how the podcast like came into form and how we all crossed paths, and then that led us to here.
For sure, for
I
sure.
think that'd be like a nice little introduction,
Yeah,
and everybody know how we is.
I think I should
yeah,
probably go first because I think I was the one. Like y'all had already crossed path. I mean, I guess y'all could go
yeah.
first too. It don't really matter. But I was
Uh,
kind of the one that like came into the group last and came into the mix last. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much what happened for me is I got out the military, kicked me out. And I'm pretty sure I'll go into detail in that in the later episode or whatever. But kicked me out or whatever. So I got out, started working for the army on the base, doing some work or whatever. But in that position, I mean, I was only getting after taxes, insurance for my kids, my wife, and everything. I was only getting $750 every 2 weeks, anybody that is living on this earth that is grown can tell you you cannot live off of $750 every 2 weeks. Granted,
Right.
I mean, I had other streams of income coming in and stuff like that, so I wasn't too worried about it. And I had the help from people when I needed it. But so I had ran across this opportunity to where they were doing drug testing for the people that were coming into the military. It was like, hey, they paying good money. I think you get, I want to say it was almost $30 an hour that we was getting paid to do drug testing. Went 3 or 4 days a week for about 4 hours, 5 hours a day or whatever. And so I applied and they had an opening and they accepted me or whatever. And so I got in there and I was kind of standoffish because I don't really like I'm a hard person to like get in tune with people. Like I have anxiety when it comes to like connecting with people, especially people that I don't know and stuff like that, or if I don't like your energy or something like that, or something just may be off with you or whatever. I don't know. But when I started working there, I met Josh, and I was just like, man, this dude here, he crazy. Like he say whatever on his mind, he gonna do whatever. He don't
Yeah,
care.
the
Like
hell he
it
do.
is what it, it is what it is, and that's just how it is. So I was like, okay, like I started gravitating towards him and stuff like that, and we started speaking, on the offline and stuff like that, outside the job or whatever, and our relationship just kind of grew, and he just really just grew into a brother to me, like a big brother, honestly, like something that I needed. He gave me a lot of guidance, like people. I don't think a lot of people realize that. How monumental someone can be in your life from an outside factor. I think a lot of people get trapped in, oh, this is my family, this is my uncle, this is my dad, this is this person, that person, whatever the case may be. And they kind of get trapped in that circle to where it's like, oh, like this is all I have. If you take the time to step outside your bounds and stuff like that, or you put yourself in a situation to where you have no other choice but to learn new people and stuff like that, then you have no choice but to kind of just
Bro.
grow, honestly, big
Facts.
facts. And so I met him, and man, he helped me grow. Like when I say he helped me grow, like he is a big part in the reason why I am who I am today. Because I was, hey, I ain't gonna toot your horn too much because
Yeah, I'll say
you know
I
how
about
I
to
I,
say,
keep it
don't
in the
get him
tuck.
started.
I will
you know
show
how I
keep
Get
it
him
in
get
the
started.
tuck.
hey, I still put him on to all the best music, and he know that. But that's a different discussion. But definitely help me grow, help me form into the man that I am today. When I was having problems with my wife, or I didn't know how to interact with my kids, or whatever the situation may have been, I'd tell him about, I'd be texting him like, man, my old lady did this, that, and the third, whatever. And he responded back like, well, okay, bro, like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but did you think about how you did X, Y, and Z, and that kind of like put you in the position that you're in now? And then it kind of makes you sit back and take accountability. He's a big accountability guy. Like he's not gonna let you just say whatever you want to say and just be a yes man. He's gonna make you take accountability for whatever that you had done or whatever. And so I think that was the biggest thing for me, was just learning how to take accountability and him reality checking me, because I don't think I had many people that
Give you
reality
that
checked me.
real.
Yeah, gave me that
Mhm.
gave me that real. It was just, man, yeah, she tripping. Just go ahead and leave, bro. Just leave. Just do X, Y, and Z, or shrug it off and don't even pay no attention or whatever. And that was the life that I was living. And had I continued living that life,
I'm
I'd be
listening. My bad. Just make sure.
I'd be honestly, I'd probably be out of here. Like I'd probably be back home right now. I'd probably be, whatever the case may be. But to say that in the midst of, building that relationship with my brother Josh, he was like, hey, I got this cool brother. Like, I'm finna go over here. I can't remember. I think we went over to DJ house for the first
Mhm.
time. He's like, let's go over there or whatever. And I was like, man, I don't know. You don't know how to do it, like new people or whatever. Like, I don't really know if I'm be feeling that or whatever.
Which was
And
crazy because the most thing I remember about that, little DJ threw up everywhere
Oh,
because he
that was
was
over at
saying,
my house. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Uh-huh. That was that one time. We was watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
yeah.
We'll go ahead.
And we went over there or whatever, and I was like, okay, like you start to realize that I think a big part of it too, and this may be me going off track or whatever, but I think a big part of it too is we are taught to, not directly, but we're taught to kind of be condescending towards our own kind. Anybody
Mm-hmm.
that has the complexion of us or darker or anything like that or whatever, anybody that resembles us, we kind of taught to be like on guard with them. And so that's kind of how I went into the situation being. But honestly, I think the biggest thing that I've learned is just like if you take that time and you kind of like get to like break that surface level, you be like, man, this is the same exact person this is me. Like this is,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how it was with DJ, and that's how it has been with any other brother that like I have like actually actively tried to build a relationship. As far as like TJ, everybody in here knows TJ, so he's a prime example that I want to list or whatever. Shout out to him and his chefing catering business. But it's been kind of that same dialogue. But I met DJ, and ever since then, I look at him as a brother as well. Like that's just how I feel about it, for real, for real.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you
For
still.
sure. But I
Well,
ain't gonna
yeah.
hog the stage too much. I'm gonna let y'all take some time too.
I'll say DJ, go ahead, and then I'm gonna tie it both of you.
Shit. You said how we met her and all that. So what we me and Josh been knowing each other shit going on 13 years now. So basically basic training. What's crazy is so like, anybody that go to the military, when you go into boot camp, y'all divided into different groups or whatever. And then each like group has a brother group uh that essentially like y'all kind of like rivals, but y'all also work together to an extent. So Nixon was in my brother flight. So when we was in basic training or whatever. So and then we was both in the same type of positions too, like in the like kind of leadership positions in it. You know what I'm saying? So Nixon group was always the group that was like it was what was it? 50 of y'all and
Mm-hmm.
like in my group, it was like 50 of them, 50 of us or whatever, right? In my group, it was like 46 of them was white guys. Or I would say 40 of them was white guys.
I
Six
think.
of them, like six of them was like maybe Spanish.
Oh,
You know what
okay.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
or something like some type of Hispanic, whether you talking about from Puerto Rico, Mexico, any type of like, Spanish speaking country that like it was like 16 of them. And there was like four of us that was black or whatever. And then Nixon flight or Josh flight was like damn near
We had
half
them.
of them was yeah, like half
We
of them
had
was
them.
like black or whatever. So
It was at
like
least like eight,
yeah,
9.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was about to say maybe it was less than that, but I just noticed they had significantly more
Yeah, I'm
black.
about to say, hey, that's not even counting like the
Yeah,
Hispanic people and everything. So,
yeah, yeah. So like significantly more of them was like black or whatever.
mm.
So you know what I'm saying? And it's like a rivalry thing. Like y'all go through the obstacle course against them and all that. So like, me just being like the competitive person that I am, I'm talking my shit to them. We getting blasted though. I'm like we fighting. But it was only like maybe like 10 of us that had some type of athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? So like any of the like physical stuff, they was beating us, or any of the like just the organized stuff they was beating us. Cause like I had a bunch of like not to diss them, but like a lot of them was like somewhat not they was somewhat nerds or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So like, but I was always bringing up the rear, like, what I'm saying, talking my shit, like, nah, we gonna fight, we gonna fight, we gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? Like anytime I got a chance to call one of his people out, I was doing that. But yeah, so like so yeah, that's how me and Nixon met initially or whatever. And then we both ended up getting the same job or whatever. So when we went to once you finish your boot camp, you go to your job training. We went to the job training, and then we both get there and we both see each other like, oh, what up or whatever. And that's when we actually got cool. Cause probably in boot camp, he probably was looking at me like, who the fuck is this guy? So
Can't wait to tell my story.
yeah. So then so then we got to like the actual training and stuff like that. And when you in the like technical training, y'all are learning y'all job, but then you also have some type of freedom to like go out and go to the clubs and stuff like that. And that's where we ended up getting cool. And then lo and behold, we ended up getting the same duty station. And then that's where we end up getting cool or whatever. And then just from there on, like, you know what I'm saying, the friendship and all that just kind of, and then we end up being roommates or whatever. So then like, you know what I'm saying, I started to realize like, bro, not gonna bring like nobody around that's like not trustworthy. So, you know what I'm saying? So every time he bring anybody around, I just always treat him like they was family or whatever. And then that's when I met Shawn, which was later on down the line. I think I met Shawn like right before I was leaving for Germany or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
depressing.
yeah.
Boy, we would have more time together. Boy, it's been crazy. It's
Yeah.
probably a good thing though. It's probably a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah. So I met Shawn. It was like 2013, 14 time frame or whatever. And then you know what I'm saying, me and Shawn just kind of already kind of linked. And I always tell people for some reason, like I always end up like tying in a little bit harder with the people, like with people from the South for some reason. Whether it's like y'all two who from Mississippi, my homeboy Hughley, that's like, you know what I'm saying, bro, he from Georgia, you know what I'm saying? It just always like the southern people always, but then again, my whole family is like, my family is from Detroit, but I got family all around the country or whatever. And I've spent summers in, you know, Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee, St. Louis, all the like, you know, although St. Louis is not necessarily the South, but to me it's the South because of how they talk. But you know what I'm saying? So like Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee, Alabama, all them areas like family me. So I always end up linking hard with like Southern people. So it was always easier for me to link with Southern people. And then that's how I kind of that's how we all know each other. But yeah.
Bet. So, like bro said, I met DJ first, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you. Just because like being from the South, like, you know, everything is taught to be generous and stuff. You like, hey, you know, you give a head nod to somebody. And like, bro was not on that type of time because he was like, one, you not on my team, so nigga, why are you talking to me? And it was like, who is this guy coming to us? And I'll never forget the most part that stood out to me the most. Like bro was saying, we did the obstacle course. My dorm, she finished first, Braxton finished second, I finished third. Like he said, we always beat their team. So majority of our people finished before their team. So technically, yeah, we won. And I remember my TI asked Braxton, was like, hey, flight 277, like what did you learn about flight 278? And Braxton out of nowhere says, I realize they ain't as hard as they think they are. And I was like, oh. But like bro said, then we went to tech school, got the same job, and then like we started getting close. And it's crazy because DJ and Shawn are very similar in the form of being like protectors. Like I feel like if they took that test, like they would come out as protectors. Because DJ, when I met DJ, he was like 21. I was like 19, like 19, 20, about to turn 21 type shit. But every time bro would be like, hey, you good? He said, like, you good, you defensive. It was to the point where I was like, I don't think we got a problem. They push you but it makes you wonder, and you like not used to that, especially from people like, because like you said in the South, like of course, like it's family over everything, but family are those people that can hurt you the most. But bro took it and like his guidance and like he showed me so much as far as like things I didn't know for simple things. Like you can say, like I said, I'm never from the streets, but I know that street. Like bro would say the same thing. But like the first lesson that popped up in my life, like I said, when we was living together, and like I had just got a new 60-inch TV because it broke. And then I put the TV outside, like the box, like outside. I was like happy and like just put it outside. Like I'll throw that shit away later. I come back in, I come back, like I went to start come back and the box is inside. I was like, bro, what why you bring the trash inside? Like, I'm like, I was confused. I was literally confused. And he's like, nigga. He's like, why would you broadcast that you got something new? Anybody can run up in here and stuff. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. But it's just that mindset of thinking. It was like, damn, that's crazy. Because like Shawn was saying, like DJ had came into my life where it was crazy. Like I had tried to kill myself, and then bro moved in, him and TJ, and like it sheltered me. It was like, bro, you good? And what I love about DJ is like Shawn was saying, he's not a yes man, but it also pisses you off. So, sometimes you call and be like, oh, I just need a hug type shit. He like, yeah, that was dumb. And you like, I don't think you heard me. I said like, but I mean, he stand his ground and it respected me, and it made me start doing the same thing because it made me want to be like, damn, if this is what true friendship for true brothership is like you telling people what you want, not to hurt them, but out of love. I mean, so and that's what happened. And then with Shawn, how I met him, like he was saying, we started working the second job, but it's crazy because our homeboy, we have a mutual friend called Bowie, and he had told me. He was like, hey, I got this young dude. He's from Mississippi. And I was like, I blew it off. I'm not going to hold you. I was like,
I didn't even know he told you that though. Sidebar, my bad. Not to cut you off, but I didn't even know he had like said that because I don't even know how he knew that I had applied for the job or got into the job.
Man?
Hey,
Bowie owed me a couple pair of
that's one thing he gonna do. He gonna lie. But I didn't know he had told you that, bro. Like I swear, that's my first time ever hearing that. I never knew that like he had communicated with you. I thought we had just like linked up on some like completely random type stuff.
That's why it made sense to me because I was like, bro had said it. I was like, oh shit, that's cool. Yeah, young nigga, Mississippi. He was like, yeah, I told him about the bot shit. All that. I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. Boom, completely blew it off. Not gonna hold you. And then I see this tall, lanky dude standing there. And so we started chopping it up. And then he like, oh, I'm Mississippi. I'm like, oh shit, I'm Mississippi too. And then he was like, yeah, I used to work at Pete's. I was like, Pete's. I was like, Mississippi. I said, hey, you know Bowie? He was like, yeah, I know, bro. I was like, oh, you who bro was talking about? And then it was cool. We started talking it up. Then I remember bro came over. We got blitz that weekend. Got blitz. And the thing that was bad, it was like on a Thursday type shit. Like, and to the point, Shawn was drunk. So then his wife was calling like, hey, where you at? Mind you, I have never met his wife. So it's already off to a bad impression. Already. Just because now I can't, I'm like, yo, we got to get him home. So I go to my wife like, hey, we got to get him home. Of course, I can't drive. So then she called her best friend and then she drive his truck. Me and Shawn in the car together. And then we drive him all the way home. And I'll never forget seeing his wife. His wife is Giselle. He was standing there with two babies waiting. And I was trying to, I'm drunk. I'm still trying to introduce myself.
Hey, sis, how you doing? My name is Joshua. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly how we went.
You need me to hold the baby?
Hey, because that's the type of person he is, though. He's like, you need me to hold the baby? Like, for real, that's something he would say. Like, that's just the type of person he is. Like, it's
crazy. But then you see Shawn the same way when it comes to protection. And like, since then, we linked up, always with linking, bringing families. And a lot of people, when you give feedback, like, it's easy for you to say, nigga, I'm grown, like, do your own thing. But to actually take the feedback and try to apply it. And like I tell people, like, for me, it didn't work till I hit my own head. Like, bro, I had to hit my head and realize, yo, the wall hurt. So when people don't take my feedback, I don't take it personally anymore. Because I was like, I didn't take my parents' feedback. I didn't take a lot of feedback. So I understand. But for bro to take the feedback and apply it, it was amazing. And then with him being the same protective feature, where especially we went out to drug, he's especially drunk. He's like, hey, you good? I'll go to the car right now. You good? It's like, whoa. I don't think anybody
can really go down.
I was like,
my bro.
Hey,
that was one of the first conversations I remember with Shawn. We was at the club. I think it was that first time he said, "You and Nixon cool, so you my bro too." So I was like, "It's cool, bro. We good." Yeah. And I think it was his birthday at that time. I was like,
hey, it probably was.
I was
but,
like, hey,
I remember that.
Like the conversation
with the stone up.
It could. But I want to.
I'm about to say, just to wrap it up, I'm about to say, I wish y'all could see the journey of these two gentlemen here. These great journey. Because when I met them, I feel like they were angry. And
I'm still angry.
I don't think so, bro.
Well, I remember Spencer James. I'm angry.
Because I was about to say, young DJ.
That sounds like some sports shit. I don't know what you're talking about.
I was about to say, young DJ 21 was ready to fight the world, like to the point where you couldn't calm him down. Like, bro had a chip on the shoulder, and I thought it was just a Detroit thing. Like I was just like, it's the first guy I met from Detroit, and they are angry. That's what I'm saying. But to see his growth and to see these two gentlemen become great fathers, great husbands, and still like I know I can call them if I ever need, and they're gonna give me real feedback. And they'll give you the shirt off their back. And they'll also tell you, like, no, nigga, that's
I'm
dumb.
also tell you that shirt you had on was ass too. I'm like, hey, here, I'm giving you this shirt because I don't ever want you wearing that shirt ever again. I'm not gonna let you come out here like that.
And a story I've never told before I give it to Shawn to wrap up. DJ really did it. This to show you the fact check. This is how I met my wife. I came out in an outfit to go on my first date with my wife. And DJ said, "Oh, you wearing that?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hey, bro, put this on." He gave me some polo boots, the brown ones, and then he gave me his polo shirt.
Oh, and polo boots was hitting too. Hey, that was the boy. If you had them, I had the gray ones. I ain't gonna lie, I had the gray. I don't know if they was like suede, but the gray.
Yeah, that was the suede
with the black little leather over the toe. Man, I thought, man, killing them. So, killing with the Levi's, because I had to Levi 501s over the top of
501s. You had that
creased up. You know, I had them creased up now.
You can't throw no 501s in the washer and dryer though.
No, ever. You might as well throw them in the trash so after that.
I found that out was the worst. I paid $50 for them, put them in the washer.
It'll make you so mad. You like,
like my granddad jeans. So
hey, you might as well go ahead hit the field in the back.
But no, moral of the story is just saying like the journey is amazing. The reason we named the podcast is because like I wish I could have a picture book and show y'all just how far.
I wish one of us was good at like doing cartoon sketches or whatever. Bro, some of them stories will be crazy. crazy. Like the time I
nah.
Yeah, we ain't gonna get into that story just this time, but the back porch situation. All those situations. Yeah, we gonna get to them though. We gonna get into some topics soon, man. Let's get to the topic.
Go ahead. I love it.
Well, yeah, man. All right. What you got, bro? What you got?
No. I was just gonna say, kind of where I wanted to start it off at. We did the introduction and stuff like that. Kind of where I was thinking about starting it off was just talking about what the name, the New Hood podcast means to you.
Okay.
Means to us as individuals, not just as a collective.
Who want to go first?
I mean, I can go first.
Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead.
So what it means to me is just like the New Hood podcast. Okay, boom. We all came up in. Well, I came up in a situation, right? I came up in the country. Well, it was a country. It was the most monumental aspects of my life came up in the country. At my grandma's house, a little shotgun house on a few acres or whatever. But I'm talking about 2 bedrooms. But at any given time, you got 8, 9, 10 people living in that joke. Like, but at the same time, it was so much camaraderie in there that like you ain't never know nothing. Like it was just love, an abundance of love. Like compassion, care, like I said, camaraderie. So I think for me that this podcast encompasses that camaraderie, that love, that compassion, but also too, it embraces the aspect of me being a father.
Okay.
Me being me and my lessons of teaching my kids certain things that they should incorporate into their lives and things that they shouldn't incorporate into their lives, things that they shouldn't have to learn or endure. For me being a husband, certain things that you shouldn't have to put your wife through, certain things that you should do to make sure that your wife is content or your relationship, your marriage is content. As a brotherhood, making sure that you're also checking on the people that you call your brothers. And it doesn't have to be every day. Like I think that's something that's something that's hard for me. Is that I'm not it's hard for me to check on somebody every day, every week. I'm not gonna set a reminder to check on you every week. I'm not gonna do it. But when you cross my mind, I'm gonna reach out to you and I'm gonna let you know, hey brother, I love you. Like I'm thinking of you and I just want to make sure that you're okay. How you doing? Um, I think it's just that it's just that bundle of putting everything together and just bettering yourself every day, making sure that you're bettering yourself. Because a lot of people get so caught up in when you look at Facebook, you look at TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever the case may be. Oh, he got a gun. He thugging outside. Yeah, he thugging. Well,
You
for
don't
me,
need
it's
that.
like, okay, yeah, it's easy
He's
to
still.
pick up
I
a
was about
gun.
to
I
say.
got plenty of guns. I got 2 or 3 guns up on here right now, but I'm not gonna put it on the screen. My thing is like it's okay to protect your family and your loved ones,
That's
but you don't have to go out of your way to try and make it known to the entire world.
Mhm.
So that and just making sure that I guess kind of live by your word. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's more that I can say, but it's just nothing I can think of off the top of my mind right now. But
that.
I'll let y'all
okay.
brothers go ahead and
What you
Go ahead,
got,
DJ.
Nixon?
kind of what it
Oh, you
means to
want
me.
me?
Oh,
Yeah, go
uh,
ahead, Nixon. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
would say for me, I'm about to say the New Hood podcast represents transparency. I
Okay.
say that
I like that.
because, like, even like with us talking, like, it felt so good to hear how it's okay to make it normalized to talk about growing old. Because at the
To
end of
not
the day,
be okay.
that has always been the goal. I don't know when it changed or where you felt like growing old made you lose something, or to even talk about fatherhood to grow, to say, like, hey, I'm not the hardest, and I'll tell anybody, but I'll do what I can to protect my family, my friends, and my loved ones. Like Shawn just said, I'm not about to go brost and try to intentionally cause body harm to anybody. But what this podcast represents is an outlet to talk about, like, it's okay to, like, yeah, we messed up, but
Mm-hmm.
yo, we came from here. It's not gonna be perfect. The stories is not to say like, oh, we live a perfect life, everything is
Or telling
perfect.
you to like follow this
Yeah,
one step by step. Yeah.
that is not this. This is us telling our journey
Mm-hmm.
that's very relatable because it's three different. We come from like three different, even though me and Shawn's from Mississippi, it's still different. We live different lives.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, Braxton, who I feel like Braxton is only like a year older than me. But to me, he's like 10 years older. That's not even. But no, just his mindset, like how
Throwing
he
shots
approached,
at me.
but how he approaches things, and like I will go to him. Like even in the military, like we're the same rank, but we're not. Like I tell people, like he's my mentor, and that's no malice, no things, and it's a healthy competition even with that. And that's what made me know this is a brotherhood. You can have a healthy competition with people, but the difference is I always want the best for him. I always want the best for Shawn. Like it's never like, oh, they got something that I didn't. Oh, it's bad. Like, no. And that's all a part. Like the New Hood podcast is what we represent and showing people it's okay to show affection to your brothers. It's okay to talk about things like, hey, my marriage wasn't okay at one point, but I had brothers and this is how I worked through it. And then I had to grow. I had to realize there's a compromise, there's a give and take. That's growth, showing that it's a give and take. Like I came in, my marriage is gonna be exactly like my parents. No, that was dumb to think like that.
Trust me,
So,
I've been there. Been there. Why grandma cook all the time? Where's my food?
But hey, look, also too to touch on what you just said, brother, not
That's
to
some
like
dumb
cut
shit.
you off.
no, go ahead.
But not just my brothers, but any person that looks like me on the street is to make
Facts.
it known that okay, it's okay. Like you can have a conversation with me, you can stop me, we can talk, or I can stop you and expect that we can have a conversation. We can let each other know that it's okay. We look, you look great today, brother. Like you look
Bro.
great today, sister. You doing all right today, sister. You doing all right today, brother. Hold your head up. Like you got a crown on your head for a reason. And I think that's
Facts.
that's something that should be
Yeah.
that is being encompassed within our podcast as well.
Yeah.
Hell
But
And
yeah.
I was about to
You
go
say,
gotta
ahead,
be
continue,
careful though,
brother.
because you'll look up and you be like $200 in debt because you see
Oh no, I ain't
so
gonna
and
do
so
all that
selling a
now.
product. I ain't gonna lie, she hey, black before
But
you. This
but
is a
you
great
at the
product.
same time,
It's
brother. Look,
low-key
you
getting
got to
hitting
have
on.
reason. You got to have reason. But that's the same
I,
thing with
I,
with anybody, with any business or anything else. Like you
Yeah,
know what's quality and what ain't quality. Like you know,
facts.
for
okay,
sure.
No
For
this,
sure.
facts.
No,
this
go keep
oil
talking.
smell like
I'm just talking.
this
No, go ahead,
oil
bro.
smell like Vaseline.
You
I'm gonna
stupid.
get that back to you. I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
I just
I was
it
about
don't
to
smell
say.
like
Yeah, it
I was
ain't
about to
it
say.
ain't hitting
it
on
don't
the
smell
one
like
or
Rose
two.
oil. I don't know
Yeah,
what this is, but you can keep that. But
And I
yeah,
was about to say the last thing I'll say that to me is podcast represents just honesty, which goes along with transparency. It's just
yeah.
like we all just said, man, nobody's perfect and we recognize this, but our stories need to be told and everybody's stories need to be told. That's why we're live streaming to show like we're opening this up. Like I'm not saying I know all the answers. If
we
you
not at it,
feel you
man.
got something else, like
Bring
chime
it.
in, let us
Yeah,
know. If you don't agree, that's okay. And that's why I
yeah.
think people mess up in the community. They feel like we all have to agree. It's okay to have at the end of the day, have a great
Disagreements.
debate and then say, I agree to disagree, but I respect you as a person, as a man, as a woman, as just a person. You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
like I'm excited for the journey. I'm really excited. I always love to talk if anybody know me, but being able to talk about meaningful things, like it puts an even spin on this. So that's
So
me. Go ahead, DJ.
All right. So what the podcast mean to me is like redefine, like I mean new hood. So redefining what that mean or whatever. Cause like I don't want to ever, now that I'm shit 33, about to be 34 years old. Like I don't
Damn.
have no, I know, right? I don't have no, I don't have no time, energy, and none of that to like be proving myself to nobody or whatever. And my
Okay.
whole like life now is about like teaching people that it's like you don't, no matter what aspect you come from, whether it's the hood, the suburbs, all that, like as long as you're doing shit the right way, like you can appeal to anybody, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So like just you know what I'm saying, having them conversations, but also just being like, bro, it don't matter. Like for me, I like because sometimes I get around people and they feel like they gotta out hood me or like
Facts.
they gotta be like, oh, I'm from here, you from there, this and that. And I'll be like, you're not about to get no reaction out of me with that, bro. That ain't how I'm rolling or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So like just showing people that it's like it's more to it, you know what I'm saying, redefining like what it mean and like, you know what I'm saying, reinstilling that idea of like community and shit. Cause kind of like what you said, like what Shawn said, you know what I'm saying, he grew up in a house with all I can't I never I do not like the whole rags to riches story. Not that I don't like it, but I feel like it's overused or whatever. Because as much as I'm from like I ain't gonna say the hood, or I guess you could say the hood, but I'm from like, you know what I'm saying, the you know what I'm saying, I'm from Detroit, you know what I'm saying? Brightmo, you know what I'm saying? I also grew up in Southwest Detroit. Neither one of them is gray areas, you know what I'm saying? Or I say West Warren more than anything, but that's like 10 minutes from where the BMF series was recorded. But like my family was not well off at all, but like I had a village of a family, you know what I'm saying? Like I was raised by my grandparents who my grandfather was retired. He was in the military, he was retired from the auto industry. My grandmother worked in the school system, retired. You know what I'm saying? My mom still works, but I have uncles, military, cousins, family members who do okay for themselves or whatever. And then I got, you know, that don't, you know what I'm saying? But like I ain't have a whole lot at all growing up. It was times you just didn't have shit. But like I had enough like mentorship and love and all that shit to where I don't need to like prove none of that shit. It's been times where, you know what I'm saying, you felt that need, but like at 34, what the fuck I look like doing that? So, and I feel like the earlier on you figure that out, the better in life you will be. It's like, bro, I don't gotta prove that. Like I done seen some wild, disgusting, crazy shit, but like I don't need to like prove none of that to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I just really want people to realize no matter what aspect of the hood, whether that's you grew up in the suburbs, the hood, and you know what I'm saying, a nice middle class neighborhood, no matter which area of you came from, like there is it's a part of it for you. You know what I'm saying? And regardless, like you can do good in life, you know what I'm saying? Like and you can, you know what I'm saying, wherever you at now, you can do 10 times better if you put that effort in or whatever. So that's my whole thought of it, you know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
um I don't need no stripes because if I ever get to that, if you get me to a point where I'm trying to prove myself, it's gonna be a dangerous situation. You know what I'm
Situation
saying? So
for real.
I don't ever want. I don't know why nobody. That's why when we was listening to the little dude rapping, I was like, ugh,
Hey,
like.
look, I like to put this disclaimer out there. Look, I like to put this disclaimer out there. I'm a scary ass nigga. I'm a
Hold on,
scary ass
what?
nigga. Nah, look, in the sense of like who to work. If it was anybody that had to like be in a situation with, it's somebody that I don't want to be. It's a scary ass nigga. When it come to the sense of like, I'm gonna pull that trigger, like, and then I'm gonna deal with whatever I got to behind it. Because I'm gonna make sure in my head, I'm gonna make sure because even if my kids gotta come see me through that glass, they gonna come see me through that glass. But I'm not gonna take that risk of you putting me out of whatever situation that I got going on to like and I never see my kids again. I'd rather see them through that glass than not see them at all. But also at the same time, I'm not gonna start no problems with nobody because I'm a calm, reserved person. Like I'm not gonna start no issues with you. I'm not gonna go to. First of all, I don't want to be in the club. But if I do go to the club, I'm not gonna start no problems with you. Everybody's in here to try and have a, for the most part, everybody's in here to try to have a good time, laugh, joke, be with their friends, family, and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But if you come over here and you messing with my sister-in-law, you messing with my wife, you messing with my homeboy or whatever the case may be, then
Yeah.
okay, boom. Like you done started a whole different thing. Okay, and like I said, I'm scary. So you let's go outside. Okay, now we outside. Okay, I'm scary. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna shoot your ass. And then what? Now where you going?
Yeah.
And that's just me being real. Like I'm not, and that's not me saying, "Oh, I'm a gangster." Like no, because I'm not saying I'm a gangster. I'm not saying I'm thugging. I'm not saying I'm this, that, or the third. I'm telling you, I'm scary.
The biggest
Yeah.
thing that I
I'm
said, a
telling
lot
you,
of
I'm scary.
those like a lot of things I feel, especially in our community, can be avoided with a conversation. I feel
Yep,
like if a
for sure.
conversation would have had,
Hold on, wait. Before you finish that, not to cut
uh,
your knowledge, but a lot of it depends on the scenario.
yeah, yeah, of course,
It depends on the scenario because we at the club, there's no conversation to be had because you're not thinking reasonably. And the reason I say that is because 9 times out of 10, you've been drinking. And
yeah,
that's the reason that you acting the way that you acting.
yeah. But I'll say even with that, like because I've been the one that because I know I'm the type to get humbugish when I drink, and it's the point where someone step on your shoes, it could be an accident, but in my mind, it's disrespect. Like you intentionally tried to step on my
Uh-huh.
shoes. But instead of thinking logically, which is again, you're drunk. So I'm not saying like you're gonna have the best judgment, but it's just you look through history and you will just see like, damn, if only they could have had a conversation, I think that would have went different. Not saying it would have, but I think it would. And I think like if we just are more receptive to doing that, especially when you're in your sober mind, to just have a conversation, it's okay. Like you don't
But
have to like with the testosterone. We don't have to battle each other. We don't have to do this. Like, cool, bro. Like, let's have a conversation.
and
Boom.
I 1000% agree with you
Mm-hmm.
on the communication aspect.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is people don't know how to communicate.
You, hey,
Not even just with like
oh,
ordinary people, but I'm talking about within your relationships. So
oh,
you if you
you're
got a
right. You're
wife
right.
or a girlfriend, or if you got a relationship with your kids or with your mama, with your pops, or whoever the situation or whatever the case may be, people don't know how to communicate. And the reason that I can like vouch for that is because I was one that didn't know how to communicate. I didn't
Hey,
know how to talk to my wife. I
same,
didn't
same.
know how to talk to my kids. I
Let
didn't
me
know how to comprehend what they were saying. You know what I'm saying? So it and with speaking with you, that helped me like grasp that concept of it and grow on it or whatever. But it took a lot of learning within myself. But go ahead, DJ. My bad.
well, I got a question for you then. If that's the case, if it's like you realize that, would you think that it would do you feel like just kind of pushing it into like to like open like an idea, a thought. But
Mm-hmm.
do you think that that's something now that you know, like maybe you never came into a situation, you know what I'm saying, where that thought process or that old thought process had to be like tested, but like now that you know, like you know what I'm saying that people gotta mature and all that, do you now feel like some obligation to like allow a person to, a moment to mature? Cause like let's say they acting out and you like see the old you, are you gonna act out and be like, or I mean, not even act out, are you gonna react and be like, okay, this is how you neutralize the situation, like getting you out of that situation, getting you up out of there, or am I gonna trust the fact that like, hey, I have to grow, I'm gonna give you a chance to grow. You know what I mean?
I think it's determinant on the situation. And the reason that I say that is because it's like, okay, boom, like if me and my wife out in the club, all right,
Mhm.
for whatever reason, we go out and we having a good time, whatever. Somebody walk up and they say something to me. Okay, you say something to me, okay, cool. I'll probably let it slide. Like depending on no, I'll probably let it slide. It don't matter what you said. Okay, you drunk or whatever. I'm gonna let it slide or whatever. And if you say something to my wife, whatever, then okay, I might be a little bit more on the edge than I am with me.
Does
Because with
that
me,
matter
it is
more?
what it exactly.
Yeah,
But
Mhm.
you're
I
not gonna
respect it.
disrespect, you're not gonna disrespect my wife.
Yeah,
Like
no
Facts.
matter how
that's
much
what you're
so,
not gonna do.
yeah,
But at the same time, it's like, okay, it depends on what you said to her. Like, okay,
right.
boom, if you said, oh, your shoes ugly or something like that, or whatever, we in the club, you say, oh, your shoes ugly. Okay, boom. All right, babe, let's go here over here to the other side of the club. Like, we just gonna leave that alone or whatever. Like, I'm not even trying to deal
Yeah.
with that.
But if you
And
snap on her, then it's like, oh, bet. Now I gotta
then
get you
it's
on her
up.
side.
Like hey, look,
Okay.
hey, look, I'm not responsible for my
Unfortunately, I don't
actions.
got
Like
time to
I done
let you
told you I'm
learn.
scary.
Now
I
you
done
gotta
told you I'm
learn.
scared. Hey, look,
Hey,
I done
when you're
told you
right,
I'm
you're right.
scary.
When you're right,
I
you're
done
right.
told you I'm scary. And even if I don't catch you inside the club, I'm gonna catch you coming up out that motherfucker. I promise you. Hey, look, I done told you I'm scary, brother. And that's me being scared. Coming up out of there. And yeah, but that's just how I feel. But I'm yeah.
I was
Yeah. What
no,
you got, Nixon?
no. I was just saying, like, what's one thing that y'all say y'all learned the most? Whether it's dealing with fatherhood. Well, I say one of each. Dealing with fatherhood, marriage, and just manhood. Like, what's
Okay.
one thing that you learned?
Ooh, I'm gonna let
Oh,
DJ go
okay.
first because
I'm gonna go.
that's a hard
Okay.
one. That's a hard one. Uh,
Fatherhood is patience. Patience and real unlearning the idea of like I don't owe a child explanation. I think that's false. I think kids
agree.
deserve an explanation
And that,
because
the part that is crazy that because even when you said that, like you combated and like in my mind, I was like, what the fuck DJ talking about? DJ didn't change. He didn't switched up. But then when you start putting
I said a
facts,
lot of stupid shit. Like I
but yeah,
mean,
but when you start putting facts behind it, it was like,
yeah,
damn, who's to say that they were
yeah,
right for treating us like that?
yeah,
Like, yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
But it
Like I
just
mean, don't get me wrong. Like, look, this is why somebody ever rewind back and be like, "Yeah, I remember he said this and that." Listen, I will be the first one to say when I was younger, and I'm not that much younger, like 8, 9,
Mhm.
10 years younger. I was one of them ones that was like, I ain't explaining myself to no kid, blah blah blah, this and that. But then when you see a reflection of yourself and you start to
Mm.
realize the shit that you did and all that stuff, yes, I am going to explain myself to a child because how do they process emotions? How do they explain themselves? How do they like have a conversation with somebody if nobody ever did it? You know what I'm saying? So like
And
that's a what's
my
up, bro?
bad. I'm not go ahead and finish your thought.
Yeah, well, just to finish it, I was like, yeah, you just don't know. Like a kid, I'm preparing my kid to learn. Like, don't get me wrong, it's some times where like I'll be like, hey, when my son, because my son, his favorite thing is when he do something and he know the truth, he already know why he shouldn't be doing it. He'd be like, how's it my fault? I like, you already know how it's your fault. You know what I'm saying? But like, like realistically, if he really don't know what's going on. Like, I do feel a need to explain, like, hey, you don't do this because shit, my son was cursing at some point, you know what I'm saying? And it was because one, I was cursing in front of him. I had threw them headsets on, playing the game, using curse words or whatever, not realizing he right there and he was literally repeating the stuff that I said. So like I realized it's not me saying, oh, you can say that, but I can't say it. I mean, I can say it, but you can't say it. It's like, no, that's a word that should not be used. Don't say that. You know
Mm.
In
what I'm saying?
general, yeah,
Yeah. And
100%,
yeah.
100%.
So like that's the explanation that they deserve. Not do as I say and not as I do. Like no, I think that's a bad explanation because at some point they're going to find somebody that they can say that to, and they're still gonna be doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't teaching them like the so that's my thing. Like with parenthood, I feel like that's something that I learned from being married, or I think that was I don't know. One of those was just like I think I already explained on a previous podcast is like not reacting to stuff that don't move the needle for you. If it's something that just don't, if it's like it might annoy you, but it don't necessarily. It's not like a
Benefit
day
you.
to day. It's not like a day to day like thing where you like, hey, this really like kills my mood. Like you don't always gotta react to that just because you that's your wife or whatever. Cause like that's still a person. Like sometimes you be forgetting like she's still a person with her own independent thoughts and days. You know what I'm saying? So like you gotta understand like some stuff is not worth a reaction because I'm a straightforward type of guy. She might not necessarily be that. So I give a straightforward and that hurt her feelings. And I just got my shit off, but now I just alienate her. So like knowing when not to say that shit. And then just manhood is just like kind of what I was talking about in general. It's like I don't feel the need to like I'm not trying to impress nobody. Like them days ended probably even before I really, really hit my 20s. But like now in my 30s, I don't feel no need to impress nobody. So like I've always tell people I define what's I feel like it ain't nobody in this world. I don't care how much money you got, how much style you got, how many stylists you got. It's nobody that's cooler than me. You can't dress better than me. You can't do none of that stuff better than me in my mind. So it's like I don't feel no need to like impress nobody. So anything that I do is strictly off the fact that I like doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to go buy something that I can't afford to impress people because what I do buy, I could afford it, and you're not fucking with me. In my
Yeah.
mind, at least in my mind, I'm probably wrong, but I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
There's
So
nothing
that's
you
how
can
I look
tell
at
me.
it. There's nothing you can tell me when it come to like cool. I ain't trying to
Respect.
like. I'm not trying to
100.
like chase the cool. Like in my opinion, you don't get no cooler than me. You know what I'm saying? You could have a
Right.
Rolex on. I could have a Movado, and Movado actually ain't that bad. But like, you know what I'm saying? But Movado compared to I don't care because when I put that shit on, you can't put that
He
shit on
got
like
that
like
shit
I put that
on.
shit on. You know what I'm saying? Like you just can't in my mind. That's just saying in my mind, and I might be wrong as hell, but you just can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm
Can't fuck
not,
with a picture of me.
yeah, you
Right.
know what I'm
I'll put that
saying? Like
Movado on. You can't fuck with a picture of me. You hear
exactly.
me?
You know what I'm saying? And then if I get, but in it, and how I be looking at it is why I'm not chasing it because it's like you doing it to outdo me. But if I have it on, if I had that Rolex on and you got that Rolex on, now you can't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? So that's on like you going off of the title and not how you put that shit together. You know what I'm saying? So like that's how I look at
Shout
it.
out to my sister. She brought me that mango pineapple refresher from Starbucks. And if y'all
Okay.
know,
Y'all
you
got
know. If
money.
you don't, hey, if you don't, then you don't. I don't know what to tell you, but you better get on it. You hear me? With the lemonade, not the water, because I don't know what you're doing if you ain't got you ain't got the lemonade in. That's how I feel.
All
But
right,
all right,
Sean.
Nixon, what you got?
Oh, me?
Nah, I go. I go. Oh, you
Mm.
ready to go?
I mean, I
Oh my
got it,
bad.
but you go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, because I was gonna lose my train of thought. I ain't gonna lie to
I
you.
Oh my
know.
bad.
That's
My
why I
bad.
said you
So
go
my for the
ahead.
manhood portion of it, what is something I feel that I've learned is definitely what like similar to what DJ said as far as living by my own standard, not living by nobody else's. I don't have to live by what the man next to me say is the golden standard. It's me. If I like this t-shirt and you know the societal standard says, oh, this t-shirt is trash. Well, forget what the societal standard says. I don't care. That doesn't reflect how I feel. That's definitely one thing. Something else that I've learned through manhood is just being uh introspective on my own feelings.
Okay.
So when it comes to, oh, I'm feeling down today. Okay, well, why are you feeling down? Why do you feel this way? Asking myself questions. Okay, you upset today, but what made you upset, or what made you wake up and feel like you're upset? Asking myself questions like that, to learn that it's not my kids that pissed me off this morning when I got up. It's not my wife that pissed me off when I got up this morning. It was something that I had going on internally that I had to ask myself to get an answer to. Uh, there's something else that I can't remember right now, but I'll get back to it. As far as my kids, the biggest thing is being present.
Okay. Yes, sir.
My son would come up to me in the past or whatever, and I was going through my own stuff mentally or whatever. He's like, "Dad, can we play basketball upstairs in my room? Because I got him a little goal that goes over his door or whatever." And I'd be like, "No, not right now. I'm not trying to do that right now." But I had to learn that those moments are what means the most to him. It's not because I bought the basketball goal for him to put up in his room. Yeah, I had the money to go get the basketball goal. I had the money to go fill his room up with toys and
Mm-hmm.
polo and Jordans and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that don't mean nothing to him. He want to spend time with his daddy.
He wants you to do it with him.
Exactly.
Facts.
So that was the biggest thing that I had to learn about being a father. As far as being a husband, is listening to what my wife said, because she would tell me a lot of stuff. She'd be like, "Well, I feel like we need to take time to. I need you to take time to like schedule us something to go do." And I'd be like, "Okay, cool." And they go in one ear and out the other. And then it will come to a point to where okay, she would set us up a date night or whatever. So in my head, we good. We did a date night. Okay, it's cool, but it shouldn't always have to fall on her.
Mm-hmm.
It should also show the initiative of I appreciate you too. Like let's go out and go do something. Let's go spend some time together without the kids, without friends and whoever else may be around, and go do that together, and just reconnect, disconnect from the world and connect with each other. Whether that be, one day we had scheduled a Starbucks. We went to Starbucks and we got some books or whatever. We just sat at the table and we just read those, whatever. But just being in the vicinity of each other and just being able to like reconnect with each other, because the world, if you let it, it'll disconnect you.
Yes,
Like
A
sir.
it'll
motherfucker.
disconnect you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially with this information, with this IT and stuff that we got coming in so fast paced at us. As far as TikTok and stuff like that, every slide you get up, it's a girl shaking her head. It's a girl, doing showing it. You know what I'm saying? You have to take that time to be like, that's not reality. These people are going out and getting all this stuff done or whatever to appease the masses and stuff like that. But you sit down and have a conversation with one of them. I guarantee you, I bet my last paycheck that they not gonna be able to offer you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
My old lady, she take care of the kids, homeschool my kids. She take care of them, feed them. She feed me. She makes sure I'm straight. She asks me, this, that, and the third or whatever. I don't never have to worry about nothing when I come home if I don't want to.
Facts. It's a
So it's
luxury.
just making sure that reversing that role to making sure that she's taken care of. Okay, you want to go get your toes done? Okay, you take 2 3 hours to yourself and go to the nail salon or nail shop or whatever the case may be and go. And I think that's just the biggest thing that I
Yeah.
learned within
That's
within
crazy.
marriage.
I'm sorry to intervene, but
Now go ahead.
I feel like a lot of people do not respect the fact of like somebody like taking care of like an actual homemaker, because like people
Bro,
confuse like the idea of a homemaker and like just
A
somebody that just
slave.
kind of stay. Yeah, exactly.
just to stay at
Like, you
home
know what
while
I'm
they don't
saying?
do nothing.
Yeah.
That's
She just,
difference.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
a
Like
difference.
But you
what
know
she
what?
doing is a real job. You
It's
know what
a
I'm saying?
job and it's
With that
crazy.
deserve some type of rest, not even some type, the absolute,
Some type of compensation.
yeah, not even no, not some type of the
Yeah,
All of
actual reciprocity
it.
that she asks for. Because I'm telling you, it's a convenience that a lot of people don't have,
I
don't
can't do it.
and even if you was able to afford it, some people cannot meet that standard. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's
COVID
you
showed.
not.
might be able to
COVID
go to
showed me I
work,
can't do it.
you might be able to go to work, figure out all that stuff, and then you come home and this person is struggling with that because it's not easy. You know what
And
I'm
make it
saying?
look
Like,
easy though, and make
yeah.
it look easy, and that'd be the
Mm-hmm.
hardest. Like that'd be the hardest part, I think, for a lot of people to comprehend. Is like, just because you come home and they made it look easy does not mean that it's easy. It just means that
At
they have
all.
a comprehension of how to do it or whatever. But I
Mm-hmm.
think also too, to touch on what you said, was like, the fact that not only is it not easy, but they don't get the respect that they deserve.
Exactly.
Because my wife, she has certain people within her family. It's like, oh, you at home every day with the kids. You need to go get a job. You need to go do whatever, whatever. There's a reason that when you go to these daycare centers, you talk about, oh, I'm trying to put a child in daycare. They talking about, okay, it's $1,600 a month. It's $1,200 a
Facts.
month, whatever the case may be. There's a reason that they charging the price that they charge. It's
Mm-hmm.
not because that, it just seems like a good price to be charging. So when you got 2 or 3 kids at the house that somebody's taking care of and they doing it for essentially like free, so to
Right.
speak, for lack
A
of a financial
premium. Yeah.
term, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like they deserve more respect on their
Mm-hmm.
name. They
Yeah.
deserve more respect on their title. It's not just, oh, you a stay-at-home mom. No, it's more to it. It's
Yeah.
definitely more to it because, like Nixon said, or like Josh said, there's no way in hell that I could do it on a day-to-day basis, every day,
Right.
all day, consistently 365 days a year, or however
At
many
all.
Yeah.
you're working
I
or
would
whatever.
love to do it if I didn't have to be supported. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because the societal norm of that stuff. Like, I would love to be able to do it. But at the same time, I know I wouldn't like once the like 3, 4 age, the shit that really require real like
Work.
work and knowledge. Like, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. But like the earlier stages, that's what I was saying. Like, shit, if I was like 40 and if I was able to like passively bring in like 200,000, I would definitely
Easy.
one hire somebody to have a kid for us, and then two, like, because that's another thing people don't realize how much work it is if you care
Yes.
about the person having the child for you, how much work it is to like for somebody to have that
I
kid. So
got something
like,
to say on that.
I would love to be able to like from that point like birth forward to be there because like I enjoy like the however much time off the military gave me, bro. What was it? 30 days, and I think I took another like almost 15, 20. So it was like damn near 2 months of that shit. Like I enjoyed that, but at the same time, like the learning aspect of it is hard, you know what I'm saying? And raising a kid. So I wish I could, but like nah, that shit, like that's why I 1,000% respect that. And it's not easy at all. You know what
And
I'm saying?
Nixon, I know you about to go next. I don't want to cut you off.
Brother,
But
do your thing. Go ahead.
before you get started, I do want to say too, I think that's something that is also a societal norm. It's expected for the woman to be at home taking care of the kids, and
Yes.
there be nothing that like
Mhm.
that's just what you're supposed to do. That's just your job. Like there's yeah, until you have to sit down as a male and have to do it. Okay, then it hit different. Hey, look, do your research.
Do your
Like
homework
do
on
your,
You stupid.
do your
do
homework. You
your
have to sit at
research
home with the
on
kids all
trying to
day,
take care.
and your old lady
Man,
at work or she outside.
do
Do
your
your
research
homework,
on trying to take a nap and your kid smacking you in the head while
man.
you in
Facts,
Bruh.
deep sleep.
facts.
Huh.
But also too, like before I give my talking time up, to touch on what you said about how difficult it is for a woman to like have to go through the whole birthing process, carrying the child and everything like that. I gained a whole new respect because with my last son, my wife she had a home birth, so we did it at home with her and my sister-in-law. No doctors, we ain't taking no hospital, none of that. And just it's seeing the whole process, seeing the whole experience and experiencing it within myself, it's just like there's a whole new appreciation. Even after she
Mhm.
gave birth to him, like it was like she took care of herself, like she did it a whole like the
Mhm.
homeopathic remedies and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And it's just created a whole new appreciation, a whole new like vision or perceptive on everything, and it just made me appreciate it just that much more. And I definitely agree with what you said, brother.
Especially when you see your kid like developing and all that stuff, and you like, damn, you
Facts.
really did that. I don't know. I don't get. That's why I don't understand how people can like
Facts.
fake like there's not like an actual like role that's played in that shit. But yeah, I'm gonna let Nixon go ahead, bro.
Go
Like
ahead, brother. I feel like we took enough of your time. My bad. My
Nah,
bad. Our bad.
bro.
Our bad. Our bad.
Like I said, when the conversation is amazing, like just hearing it, like it just trigger thoughts, and that's what I love about it. So for me, I would say I'll start with manhood, like comfortability, and I say that it's more just comfortability with myself, like just being okay with being by myself. I used to tell DJ all the time, I used to be jealous of DJ, like because he would be able to be like, I'm going to the movies by myself, and it's like, I'm
Still
like
love it to this
by
day.
yourself. I'm like, no one else. I'm like, I
Love
could
that shit.
never.
Shit
Like,
fun as hell.
like,
Hey, look, he throwing it in your face. Now he bragging.
I
no,
might go tomorrow. I might go tomorrow. I might go tomorrow. Now that you grown it up.
and it's just like being that comfortable with yourself. It made me look into myself and be like, why are you not okay with being with yourself? Of course, like our worst enemy is our mind. We think, and of course, we're not doing the best. We're not doing what we should be doing. We're not doing as well as we think, but we fail to appreciate like how far we've come, how far we've overcome things. So I'll say just being comfortable with myself to getting to the point where it's like, bro, you good? Where I can be in the house, I can chill all day by myself, watch TV, and not feel like I need the companionship, although I want it, but no, I'm good. So that took a lot, I'll say, for manhood. I'll say for fatherhood, like DJ said, patience, but just I would say a new understanding. Because of course, being down south, mine was like, I was raised this way. This is how I'm raising my kids. Not realizing, like, maybe that's not the right way. Not knowing that each kid has a different personality. And when we try to treat them all the same, that's where we get the problems. Just because one thing works for one, don't mean it's gonna work for the other. But I was in the mindset of like, nah, it worked for me. My parents said, hey, it's punishment, whooping. Hey, you getting this whooping. Not knowing like, not triggering like, okay, I whooped you, but then the same day you do the same thing. Okay, what do I do now? But then if I keep whooping you, like, what point is that? And then DJ here brought up a same point. He was like, bro, it's a slavery mentality. You're beating someone into submission. And it's like, what? What are
And
you?
I'm standing on that. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm
Nah,
standing on that. I'm gonna be very, very open when I say this. I'm not 1,000% against physical discipline.
facts.
Not like there is times where your kid is just literally absolutely disobeying every single part of life. And I get that. Sometimes you gotta pop that butt a little bit.
Yeah,
But like this idea of every time your kid wilding out that you gotta go upside their ass or head, I think that is crazy. And I think
facts.
that's because you really don't know how to communicate. And that's all
Facts.
it comes down to is communication. Cause
Spot on.
I have popped my son a few times, but like most of the time that he really get me is when I change my tone. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because I know how to communicate with him in certain ways. If I say something and he see my eyes and hear my voice, he's going to fix it. But that needs to be followed up with like, hey, you need to stop doing that because X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm
facts.
saying? But any of that other shit, like just because your kid just not doing what you doing, what you want them to do, you gonna beat the hell out of them. That is not.
That don't work.
I'm gonna tell you at day and night. That is cowardly to me. I do not care what nobody say. I'm not trying to like appease nobody. I think it's cowardly to do that if you have not tried to communicate with a child multiple times. Not, oh, I
Facts.
tried to talk to him once. No, if you have not tried to talk to your child multiple times, and the first thing you think is to go upside their head, you are a coward, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong. I have been a coward in certain situations because I reacted out of reaction, but
Same
that's
thing.
not the right way to go about it, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Same. And it just brought me to, like I said, it just sums you up to where it
But
was like, go ahead,
not to
bro.
cut you off,
Mm-hmm.
but I also think too, a part of being or growing is doubling back and being like, hey, look, I made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But look, this is why I reacted the way that I did. This is how
Mm-hmm.
you need to fix those actions in the future. But at the same time, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have did what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, there is times that you're gonna overreact or respond in a manner that you shouldn't respond. But you should
But
be
yo,
able to have that maturity within you to be able to come back and be like, hey, look, I made because I did that
mm-hmm.
several times with especially with my little girl. Like I probably shouldn't have popped you. Like I probably shouldn't have like did no physical discipline to you or whatever. But I need you to understand that this is why I reacted the way that I did. My
Mm-hmm.
bad, Nixon. I ain't mean to cut you
No,
off.
you
Yeah,
good. Because I'm
we're
about to
gonna let
say,
you. Hey, from now on,
no,
we're gonna
no,
let you
keep
go. My
inter. I'm
bad.
about to say, bro, the conversation is good. Like,
I'm
keep,
sorry.
like, this is what people need to hear because it's not like a scripted podcast, and I don't want people to think that it is. Like, this is an open form of conversation. So if you feel you need to interject, promise, my mind's good. I'm good. I'm focused right now. So, but I was saying, what people don't realize with me, well, I had to realize, like, I became a father at 16. So you give a 16-year-old that really you only see one type of thing. And my parents' relationship wasn't the best. It was physical violence, which they can attest to. Like, it wasn't the best, which it was but to me, it was a stereotypical Black family where to us it was normal. And so it wasn't until I joined and started talking to people when it was like, "Oh, how was your childhood?" And I would tell them, and it was like, "Well, that's not how it should have been, but but it is." And so, but I'm about to say the most person that challenged me, and I'm not saying it just because he's on a podcast, is DJ. Like, because one, he's the godfather of my kids, but he would say, like, "Bro, why are you doing this? Like, you shouldn't be, like, you should talk to him." I'm like, "Nah." And then when he was like, "You should, like, if your kid asks why, you should tell him." I was like, "What?" Like, nah. Like, I remember I never would say that to my parents. And it was like, but he's like, "Why though?" Like, he was like, if they don't know, they're genuinely asking, but instead of giving them an answer to that knowledge, you resort to violence. And then, like he said, it came all down to communication. So you had to look yourself in the mirror and be like, "Damn, like, this is my seed. They didn't have to be here." And it was like, to just explain to understand, like, even as an adult, like, you have to tell me more than once. So why, as a kid, I would get mad because they didn't hear me when they weren't focused? And so, go ahead.
I think also too, to touch on what you just said and what DJ said too, because I meant to like say it earlier or whatever. It's just that aspect of when you send your child out into the world and
Mm-hmm.
things start to, high power forbid or whatever. But let's say, something happens or whatever, and you done taught your child all this time, like, no, this is just the way it's supposed to go. This is just the way it's supposed to happen. It's because I said so. And something happens, then your child feels like that was just what's supposed to happen to them.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
They don't feel like, oh no, I should interject or come back and tell my mama or my daddy something or whatever because X, Y, and Z, my uncle or this man in the street, my auntie,
Mm-hmm.
whoever it may have been or whatever, they don't feel comfortable to come back and say it because they just feel like, oh, this is a
You
elder,
took that power
and
from
this
him.
is
Facts.
exactly. And I
That's
feel
a
like
strong.
that's
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
powerful.
big thing is like restore, like you said, brother, like restore, not taking that power from, but restoring it into them, letting them know like you have power, like you are able to
Facts.
speak your mind, and that's something that like between Nixon or Josh and my wife has taught me. Is like putting that power into them to letting them be able to speak their mind. So my son say some stuff now, I'll be like, I'll slap in your mouth, bro. Like you don't know who you're talking to. And sometimes I have to correct them. Like there's a way that you can say
Yeah,
stuff,
it's all
but
about
at the same
delivery,
time, like
tone.
definitely like speak your mind.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Just you have to be respectful about it. And I think that's just the biggest thing, as opposed to like just all together like canceling out, like, nah, you don't say that at all. Like you don't say nothing. Like you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I definitely agree with both what both y'all have said, as far as that goes, like 100%. But I just had to make sure that I
no,
definitely implemented that aspect to it. So yeah, my bad, Nathan,
no, you
Josh.
good.
I ain't
And
mean to
I'm
cut
about
you
to
off, brother.
say, and to wrap it up, as far as like with my marriage, two things I would say: consistency, and then I'll say compromise. I was about to say, as far as compromise, is because my wife was the first one to always compromise, and it got me to a place where I got complacent, and to the point where not realizing like, oh, she's sacrificing this when I'm still doing everything I want to. I'm still going now. I'm doing this. I'm not even asking because me not thinking everything's okay. And so that's what I learned. I was about to say compromise to know that, hey, although I want to do this, like, is that what my family needs right now? Should I buy this right now when I know my wife been wanting to do this, but she don't want to? So it's like, nah, it's like, let me get the kids. You go get your hair, your nails done and stuff and compromise. And then with consistency, I was about to say, just keeping up the thing. Because it's easy for me to do week spans, to be like her tell me something like, hey, I need you to do this. And then my mind was always like, okay, cool. I think about it and I do it for a week. And then I go back to being like, oh shit. And it's like, hey, what happened? It's like, ah, damn, my bad. And so just working on that and just staying conscious of being like, hey, it takes effort. Marriage is a work in progress. Like some people think like once we married, that's in. Like,
Oh,
nah,
that's it.
nah, I'll never forget, although I used to hate the saying, but it was like, hey, you got to work just as hard as when you got her to keep her. I used to hate that shit, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. When
I
people
still
said,
don't like
Like,
it,
what are
but
you
I
talking
feel
about?
it.
Like, what are you
Still don't
talking
like it.
about?
I
Like,
feel
what do
like
you
it's
mean?
a.
yeah,
I
but
feel
it's
like
like,
it's a. Yeah. I feel like only reason I don't like it, I think it's true, but the only reason I don't like it is because I feel like people be only applying it to men. You be like, what the
Facts.
yes.
Facts.
And that's what I say.
Facts.
Like, if you change the
100%.
word in the tone, like, I get your intent, but your delivery was fucking horrible. So, but the intent, like, it's like, yeah, I get it. Like, work as if like I'm trying to get a promotion or something. Like, knowing that this marriage, like, it needs work, it needs nurturing. Because I'm not gonna lie, my wife puts a lot of faith in me as the man in the household, where she allowed me to make decisions when I'm like, I make them, but then to think about past decisions, I'm like, I shouldn't have made those. Like she had way too much faith in me. Like I should, hell no, I shouldn't have bought this new car.
She
I don't
should
know why
say
she let me
no.
buy
I
this
don't know
new
why
car.
she
Yeah,
said that.
Yeah, and it's like just
I'm
realizing
buying
that.
it.
Stupid.
I'm buying it.
Hey, that's my problem now. Hey, that's my problem now. Hey,
Hey,
that's
you
my
feel
problem
me?
now.
And so just,
Hey,
I'm about to
driveway
say,
looking pretty though.
hey, it is. Like it is.
Say what you
I'm,
want. You like
hey, hold
it.
on.
Wait till it's
I'm a,
nighttime. You gonna see them lights come on. You gonna like it.
I'm
Feel me?
about to say, but nah, that's it, man. I'm about to say those things and just, but the moral of the story, I don't think I would achieve those things without the brotherhood. Like, because parents, I wouldn't, I mean, my parents, I
Anybody
wouldn't
trying to hear
listen to
that?
them. I ain't gonna
Anybody
hold
trying
you.
to hear
I
that?
was not trying to hear that. Cousins, yeah, you only take care of your kids. I'm not listening to you. So it's
These are
like,
facts.
so you getting like a brotherhood where people are, they're on your side, but they're also telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Like, hey, that's a big difference, man. Once you get people in your circle like that, bro, you winning. I don't care what nobody say.
And you'll continue to win if you're around some people that's gonna be honest with you, like you'll be straight. Like every time I get around people, I need to hear some honesty. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to I don't share a whole lot all the time, but like when I do, I need that, you know what I'm saying, unfiltered. So if you're not gonna give me that shit or you're gonna be capping to me, I bet. You know what I'm saying? We can kick it. Like I don't think everybody is
To a
meant to be
certain
the
degree,
friend.
though. To a
Yeah,
certain degree,
but
you
this is
can't
the
come to
thing
the
though.
grill. Hey, look, you can't come to the.
Yeah.
You, what they say, you can't come to the cookout.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You can come, but I don't need your opinion on certain stuff. Like you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
It's
Don't tell me how to
but
cook.
that's only because it's only certain people that I really value their opinion on that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
because I feel like people be taking opinion from like when it comes to marriage, you gonna take marriage advice from somebody that's never been married. Like why is you doing that? You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
hold on.
It's
Like
Scripture.
facts.
Hold
you know
Or
what
on.
I'm
they done
saying?
been divorced 6 times. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
want to hear
like,
nothing
you
you
know what I'm
got to say.
saying? Don't get me
Unless you,
wrong,
Preacher.
a
yeah.
divorced
Hello.
person might be able to give you some good information, but 9 times out of 10,
It's jaded.
if they not exactly, it's coming from a certain standpoint. So it's like, I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'll listen. I try to listen and like take
But
something from everybody, but it's like most of the time, people that's like divorced and they like super upset about the situation is like, yeah, because you haven't taken time to like
take
oh
accountability.
yeah, it takes
At
some kind of
all.
accountability or whatever. So that's the thing. Like it's a little different, man. It hit a little different when you take your time to like vet out the people that's actually giving you some information. So and that's my thing. If you ain't giving me no you ain't giving me no honest shit. If you just saying some shit and you ain't like take my situation, dissect it and give me the shit back and you just like, yeah, you can't do this. All right, bet. All right, get the
Not
fuck on.
even not even if you can't take my situation and give me some feedback on it. But if you can't even take your situation and give me some feedback on your situation, if you say,
Oh
"Oh,
my
the reason
fucking
we got
God.
divorced is because she was this, that, and the third," okay, well, what did you do? Because
Mm-hmm.
if you went through 6 divorces, like there's no way that she did this, that, and the third 6 times. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just
Exactly.
there's something that you
All
did
six
on
of
your
them.
end. All six of them, like, ain't no
Like
way.
all the
There's
six of
no
them is
way.
that bad.
There's no
Either
way.
you telling me that all six of them is that bad, or you telling me that you that bad at picking people that you pick the same
Exactly.
people. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly.
So you know what I
But I
mean?
did
That's
want to before we take off on this topic, I did want to ask y'all too, get y'all opinion on how y'all lock in on y'all's discipline, I guess. Because I know Nisa or Josh was just saying that um holding himself accountable to my bad, holding himself
mine
accountable
easy.
to making sure that on a week to week basis that he's taking accountability of, making sure that he's doing the things that, let's say he said that, oh, I'm gonna wash the dishes once a week, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that he's doing that, but not only inside of our like relationships, but as far as like within our day-to-day life, whether it's working out or it's, making sure I'm gonna take the kids to the park one day a week or whatever the case may be. I want to get y'all's introspect on that, because I think that's something that I personally have been struggling with as far as the gym component. I've been trying to
Yeah.
stay consistent within the gym, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
been hard for me. So I wanted to kind of pick y'all brain on that.
Who wanna go first?
Go ahead, DJ.
I feel like actually, could somebody go before me? I don't know.
I
I'm
got
trying
you.
to I'm trying to put my thoughts together on that because that's kind of hard. That's a
Yeah,
kind of hard.
it
My
is.
bad. I didn't mean to catch y'all off guard. I meant to put that in the group, but
I was about to say, in a sense, for me, it's pride, right? To be a man of my word. And so if I can't be a man of my word to myself, how can I expect to be a man of my word to other people? So like when I say I'm gonna go to the gym, like it's on me. It's completely on me. And I can't make any excuses of saying like everybody's tired. So that's why I tell myself, like, oh, you can say you tired, everybody tired. But there's somebody out there right now that's working hard as you. Like that's achieving a goal. That's a normal Joe that's trying to have the same goal as you. You want to be not per se a bodybuilder, but you want to be in shape that like when you look, like I have an ideal image of myself, and to achieve that, it's all on me. And those are the type of goals where it's on me. And it's to me, those are the hardest. Like doing the dishes, like those are something easy because it's like I'm doing it for somebody else.
right.
But for me, it's easy for me to take a plea and be like, oh, you'll be good. Like, oh, we'll go next time. And it's like, no, don't short yourself. When you start treating yourself like a person, you hold yourself accountable. So accountability is the biggest thing, bro. Where it's like, if you can't hold yourself accountable, how can I hold my kids accountable? How can I tell them, hey, do this when I don't even do it myself? And that's the
These
biggest
are
thing. And,
facts.
and it's times I have to look myself in the mirror where I take that hit where I'm
Mm,
like, I can't even tell him to do this because I ain't even do this. And like, I
mm.
can't say it prideful, like, hey, I've been doing it. It's because it's a lot. And he can see it, especially kids are
Yeah.
I
smart.
know.
And so
Yeah.
you're not about to
Yeah.
look at me like a liar. And so that's the biggest thing. And so, like, and then
Respect.
just having somebody in your corner. I'm about to say, like, my wife don't know, like, her just saying like everything, like, yo, I'm proud of you for going to the gym every day. I don't see how you doing it. You stay up to like 2, and then you wake up at 4. You go into the gym every day, and just hearing that, her not knowing I'm fighting demons trying to wake up, but her
Yeah.
just,
Easy.
They
but
give
her
you
just
that
saying that
job.
it makes you just having somebody see like, okay, you can see that I'm actually trying. That I appreciate. That's just even extra motivation, bro. So that's for me.
Hey, give me the question one more time so I can make sure I'm answering it correctly.
I guess it was just really what it boiled down to
I'll
was
be right.
just how do you hold yourself accountable to keeping that discipline aspect, whether it pertains to doing whatever it was that you promised your wife you was gonna do, or
Ah,
promising the
okay.
kids, or promising yourself. Really, I think that's the biggest thing, because I can do anything. Like if I tell my wife I'm gonna wash the dishes once a week, I can do that. That's no
Yeah.
problem. But more so holding yourself accountable. Okay, I'm gonna go to the gym 4 days a week.
Mm.
How do you like really like hold yourself accountable? What keeps you in that momentum or that mindset of like, yeah, I'm gonna do this? Like,
Yeah. I mean, really what get me into that mode is like knowing what I want out of the situation. Like for instance, like right now, I want to be at a certain like weight. I want to be at a certain, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? All that I want to be at a certain area with a lot of stuff. So with me, it's all about like being honest with what I want in the situation. And then that makes it easier to like put that work in. You know what I'm saying? I can't wake up and be like, hey, I want to be 180. Like for instance, like when I was in I went on this cruise to Mexico, I was like 200 on the dot, like 203 type shit. And I didn't realize it until like I was like taking pictures on it, and I was like, damn, I got big as hell. Never in my life been really
Hey,
over
pictures will
two.
show you. I don't like in my mind. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what I was looking at in the mirror, but
Yep.
then when I see a picture, I'm like, oh, who that
Yeah,
is?
I was like 203 or whatever, right? So like I got to that and I realized that's not the weight that I wanted to be. So it was like, all right, being honest with yourself on what you want and then like putting the work in. So like if you ain't ready to put the work in, then it's like none of that other shit matters. You know what I mean?
And I
Facts.
definitely get that. I think the biggest thing that I just gathered from like what you have stated was creating a goal for yourself.
Yes.
And I think that's the biggest thing. And that's something that I haven't necessarily created for myself as far as like a personal component. I
Mm-hmm.
have goals that I've set for myself as far as like where I want to be and stuff like that. But as far as like a physical component, when I'm, going to the gym or talking about going to the gym and stuff like that, I haven't created a goal that like, oh, I want to be X weight, which I don't really have a weight, but I just want to be like more, I just want to be more active. Like
Bro, I'm about
I
to say, as humans, you have to do that in a sense because you have to see something that we're attained to. Like you have to see a attainable goal, and that makes you work for it. So I'm about to say, even so, I would say write that joint down.
right, right,
Like
right, right.
I'm about to say, not even in your phone, like literally on a piece of paper. And so you have a plan in your mind because the human body is amazing. Like once you set a goal, like you have to see it though, so you know what you're working for. If you just
Facts.
because that's the biggest thing. Like if you, it's best to have a plan before you go in the gym. Like, hey, I'm working shoulders, I'm working back. If not, you just going in there, you just doing stuff.
And I mean, I
Yeah.
have a workout plan. Like I have a workout, like I purchased a workout regimen app or whatever. So I have
Mm-hmm.
like a workout like app or whatever. But it just be that fact of like, well, I'm tired in the morning, you know what I'm saying? But I think that also plays into the fact of like I don't have a goal in mind.
Yep.
Because for example, right? So for I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know, my son, my youngest son was in the hospital at the end of July and he got admitted or whatever, and we was like doing a whole bunch of neurology tests and stuff like that on his brain activity and stuff like that. And
Hey, real quick, I ain't go hold you and sit here and act like I knew. Nigga, I didn't even know about this. What the fuck we talking about here?
yeah, brother, mine he was in the hospital for like 3 days, 3 or 4 days, because we thought he was having seizures. And
You're not about to
I,
make me sit up here and look dumb after I done said all this shit. Brother, hey, you gotta communicate.
my bad, brother. But I
Like you
also
gotta
didn't,
communicate.
because I didn't know what the situation was or the severity of the situation was. So I didn't want to like reach out and like worry nobody and stuff like that. And
That ain't
so
even the
because I didn't
principle.
think it was nothing, my wife, she was like, oh no, I feel like whatever, whatever. So
Hey
that's my
G,
bad. That's
I
my
ain't even
bad.
gonna
That's
hold
my
you,
bad.
G.
My bad.
I
My
get you, but
bad.
we here
Okay.
now. I gotta
My
get it
bad.
out.
Okay. My
I
bad.
mean, at
But
the same
look,
time, excuse me, G, I'm talking. Excuse me. Excuse me. Bro, when it comes to the kids, bro, you gotta like if
so
it's little things. I'm about to say I get like with us, like in my mindset, like I treat it how my dad treats us. Like far as like me and my brother, like if we don't call, like we good. That don't mean we don't love him, we don't do this. Like reach out, of course. And that's how I treat you, DJ. Like I know like if y'all like if something was happening, y'all reach out. But when it comes to the kids, I don't care if you like, bro, I'm taking him. He got a fever. Oh, he got that written. Like, let me know, bro.
brother, but that be the thing though. Like I know how you get, like, and I know how y'all feel or whatever, and that be the reason that I be like, I'm not gonna like raise no alarm bells if my alarm bells ain't fully ringing. You know what I'm saying?
But this is the only problem I have with that. As you know, working with peds, kids, they
Escalate
compensate so much.
quicker.
They compensate
Yes,
so
I
good,
I know.
but it can de-escalate real fast.
Fast, yeah.
And I'd rather have a text saying like, "Hey, taking mine to the hospital, just checking some stuff out until like, hey, shit is bad. I don't know what to do." Then you and that motherfucker panic like, nigga, we was just playing the game. Like,
Mhm.
so like it's
Yeah.
those little things, bro.
No, I get it. I get it. My head off. I look, I'll do better.
Yeah.
I ain't
It's on
gonna
camera.
look. I
It's
don't
on
like to
camera.
speak. No,
You
I don't
heard
like
it.
to speak.
You heard it.
I don't like to speak no negative stuff into existence or whatever. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen again, and I'm gonna let you know. But
Nah, I appreciate it. Nah.
I got you or whatever. But I said that to say that I did make him a promise, and it's something that I wrote down while I was in the hospital.
See,
And I got it
we
right
go.
here sitting on my desk right here. It says 7/20/22. 7/22. Remember your promise. You can't give up. You got this. That's a note that I
Facts.
wrote to myself. And the promise that I made to him while he was in the hospital, hooked up to all those cords and stuff like that, was if you come out of here and you good, then I'm not giving up. I'm gonna go as hard as I could possibly go. And the reason that I made that promise was because I realized in that moment of him being in that hospital bed, he'd have been poked, prodded, X, Y, and Z. He's, 10 months, 9 months old at this time. And I'm talking about after it, 5 minutes after, he's smiling. And for something, it clicked in my head that no matter what you go through in life, that there's nothing that can like defeat you if you don't let it defeat you. And so it just hit differently for me personally. It was just like he going through all this and he's still smiling. Like you be tripping about X, Y, and Z or whatever because something didn't go your way over here. Oh, you ain't get that new truck you wanted because they ain't approved you for that truck. But he in here going through some health issues and stuff like that. Like, something could possibly be wrong with his head, and you in here tripping about a truck or a light bill or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you tripping.
Push
Like,
it
there's
into
more to life than
perspective
just
for
that
you.
light. Man, what? Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, from that moment on, I was like, I'm looking at life differently. Like, granted, I had already been like growing on that path of like looking at life through a different lens and stuff like that. But for that, it just fully, You know how when you go to get your optometry exam and they be like, okay, this one, oh, you be like, yeah, I can see clearly through that one. Like, and that
Facts.
one's it. That one's it. It
One or
ain't blurred
two.
no more. It ain't,
One
it
or
ain't
two.
blurred
Yeah.
no more. Hey, look, that's how it hit for me. Like, and I was just like, from that moment on, like, I'm not gonna take nothing for granted. Two, I'm gonna make sure that I live it and I do it for the best of my ability for my kids because I got it in me. I got it
Facts.
in me. It's been shown, it's been proven time and time again. Like I can do it. It's just a matter of doing it. The only thing holding you back is yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
you ain't got nobody to blame. And I think that's just kind of where I was going with that whole statement. I don't know where it started from, but
Mm-hmm.
that was that was for the for just the life perspective. But I was talking about the gym or whatever.
Yeah.
So I definitely have to set a goal for myself
But
for
the thing is, you take
gym.
that mindset, bro. It's the same mindset. And you'll be like consistency. It takes 21 days to build a habit per is
Yep.
what they say. Like you do that
I,
shit, but
I
having
I
that
I really
mindset.
feel like that's facts. Oh God, I feel like that's facts.
And so it's the thing, like, of course it's gonna be hard, but you tell yourself, like, when am I now gonna be tired? Like everybody, like you gonna be tired. Like you had the most rest and you just gonna come up with another excuse.
That's the
And
big
once
thing.
you just look yourself in the mirror and realize, like, hey, I'm making excuses because at the end of the day, you're gonna be your biggest adversary. Because when I'm laying in bed, that alarm go off at 4:30, I tell myself everything I want to hear. Hey, bro, we can get another hour and a half of sleep and just go to work. You can do push-ups at work. You can do this at work. Like, bro, I tell myself
I'm
all
not
day,
gonna do it.
knowing I've tried it.
Not gonna do
I
it.
don't do it. You'll work out when you get home. I'm going to sleep. I'm taking a nap. Like, so it's just like,
Facts.
let's go and get it out the way and do it because you're gonna see the results. And that's the biggest thing. Most people, they don't feel that endorphins where they like, oh, I can do this shit until they start seeing results in the mirror. But it just takes time. Once you keep building, because that's with me. Like it took a while till I started seeing like, okay, I'm going up on weights, I'm going up on strength. And then you start looking in the mirror, you're like, oh, I'm starting to notice something. All right, but I
Yeah.
know I can
I've
go
been feeling
harder.
like one-on-ones lately.
Hey,
You know
see?
what I'm saying?
And once you feel like
I
that,
don't
bro,
wanna.
you want to keep
I'm gonna
increasing
sit
it,
like
bro.
this.
I about to say it's all start with your
Yeah.
mindset, bro. I would say take that promise you made, but make a promise to yourself
Mm.
and you keep that shit.
That's the
But I
one.
think it's too like I think that it's to tie into that. It's like it's a whole lot harder to make a promise to yourself than it is to make a promise to
But
outside
that's why you
factors.
need to make a promise to yourself though.
For
Because
sure. Well, I and I hundred
if you
percent
can
get that.
complete that, if you can complete the promise to yourself,
Do
like
you nothing else can
that
be
umbrella like matters, but like it don't matter if like because the umbrella always start with like you and your wife, right? And then
right?
it's your kids and you know what I'm saying your lifestyle, your dog, all that other stuff. But like if you ain't keeping this joint here right where it needs to be, like everything else gonna fall apart. Cause like people often I'm with you 1000% when you talking about you was in there with your kids. And
Mm-hmm.
like, look, cause your kids gonna push it in perspective because
Facts.
and asked to be here, all that stuff. But like realistically speaking, you gotta have your shit together for your kids. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like
100%.
I would push back slightly and be like, when you saw your son in that room and you started making them promises to your son, I respect 100%. But then I will also say, now you gotta start making to cover that because it's the promises you make to your kid. You got to make some promises that's gonna cover you. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because how you
Right?
gonna take care of your kid if you can't take care of yourself?
Yourself.
Because that's why you in the covenant that you make with your wife is more important than the covenant that you make as a
with your
parent.
oh,
yep.
you
You know what I'm
preaching.
saying?
Hold
Like
on.
100%.
if you can't make that promise to like take care of the situation with you and your wife, or if you are not married to her, like your kid gotta see that person that they, because like my son love the hell out of his mama, so like he gotta understand that like around me at all times, like she good, you know what I'm saying? And if he don't see that, then why he gonna see some value in her, you know what I'm saying? So like all of that, and I feel you because like seeing your kid in a predicament where you can't fix it, like right then and there, that shit bother you. So like going forward, like I'd be like, look, I gotta make sure me and your situation right, whether we together or not. You know what I mean? And then once our situation good, when our son or daughter come out this situation and figure out how they wanna, you know what I'm saying? Like they gotta see us, you know what I'm saying? They gotta see us as a unified front. You know what I mean? Even whether we together or not. You know what
And
I
I
mean?
think that's one of the hardest parts too about parenting is because like I think for most of us with black parent households or
Yep.
minority parent households, it's like our parents didn't show that united
Yep.
front. It was, oh, y'all beefing. Oh, dang, that's how you. So
Mm-hmm.
you having to like unlearn and relearn a lot of stuff. Like you really having to like for me, for example, or whatever. Like I don't argue in front of my kids. Me and my old lady got a disagreement. All
Hey,
right,
that took
we'll
a
talk later.